Hey guys, happy Thursday. I can't believe the week is flying by. Today I'm going to talk about sugar. Do you need to quit sugar? I hear from so many women that I talk to, I have an unhealthy relationship with sugar. I'm addicted to sugar. I can't stay away from sugar. Once I start, I can't stop, right? If that's any of you guys, then drop in the comments below and say, yeah, that's me. I hear ya. So basically what I want to talk about are 2 reasons why you feel like you're addicted to sugar. And the main one is that it is actually addictive. It lights up the brain like crack cocaine. So there's a reason for it. It's not just because you don't have willpower. It literally hits the reward center in the brain, which is like a dopamine hit. So it literally mimics what you would feel when you are rewarded with accomplishing a task or some kind of a simple pleasure and a joy, right? So what happens is you eat the sugar and you get the dopamine hit, and then your body says, oh, I was rewarded for that. And so you kind of start to figure out that those 2 things are related. And so you are getting that instant feeling of pleasure when you have sugar. So that's why if you're feeling sad or you're feeling depressed or you're on your period and you just feel like crap, you just want to eat chocolate, right? Or something with sugar in it. And it's because you want to hit that reward system in your brain, that instant dopamine hit. Okay, so that's reason number 1. It actually is addictive, and that turns into a really bad cycle where you're just constantly wanting to reward yourself again and again and again, right? So again, this has nothing to do with willpower. That's like a physical or physiological or whatever you want to call it reaction that actually happens in your brain with that dopamine hit from the sugar. Okay, so number 2, Candida overgrowth. Have you guys ever heard about the microbiome, which is basically what's happening inside of your guts? So when you're talking about good and bad bacteria or funguses or viruses or whatever are actually going on, because they all enter our bodies and then they have to be dealt with in there. And so when we have a lot of good, healthy bacteria, they have like a healthy fight that goes on in there, because they do balance each other out, and it's the body's natural way of keeping you healthy is to have a ton of good bacteria that goes in and fights off the bad bacteria so they don't get out of control, right? It's like sending basically it's like a war zone in your guts all the time if you want to think about it like that. But what happens when we're eating a ton of sugar is that we're actually feeding the bad army. So the bad bacteria, the bad funguses, they can start to grow, and the bad yeast. So Candida overgrowth, you might have heard of that. Most women have heard of that before. Is actually a yeast growth in your digestive tract that once it gets out of control and it feeds on sugar, then it starts to take over the good bacteria and throws your whole microbiome off balance. So sugar is the thing that is feeding the bad armies in your guts, basically is what I'm telling you. And so, okay, so so sugar is not the thing that makes the Candida go crazy in the first place. It's a factor, but it's not one of the main ones. So why is it so common that so many women have exhaustion, fatigue, brain fog, digestive problems, all these things? And a lot of the time we can link it back to Candida overgrowth, which also causes leaky gut syndrome, which I will talk about in a whole different video. So Candida, generally what happens is a normal yeast that's found in our digestive tract. But when we use antibiotics, we wipe out the good bacteria. So then the yeast has a chance to get a bigger hold. When we're on birth control pills over a lot of years, the yeast grows and gets a little bit more of a hold. When we're younger and we party our faces off and drink all the time, and then we eat McDonald's the next day because we feel like crap and we're 20 and that's how we roll, or maybe some do that still, it doesn't matter. If you are eating a ton of high sugar foods, a ton of highly processed foods, and drinking a lot excessively, then that literally the Candida explodes. And so if you have one of those things or all of those things, which a lot of us did when we were young, 100%, antibiotics, birth control, partying, everybody did that I know, then what happens is over time that yeast gets out of control in your guts. And so here's why that's a problem now for you, is because if that yeast is still predominant in your GI tract, in your guts, it literally has the ability when it's starving. So the only way to kill it is to starve it by not feeding it sugar. It has the ability to send pain signals. Absolutely needs sugar ASAP. And your brain doesn't know if your body as a survival mechanism is signaling for sugar or if the Candida yeast is signaling for sugar. So it's like, yeah, get us some sugar, get us some sugar. So literally, isn't that crazy that your Candida yeast overgrowth can actually pain signal the brain to get sugar? Otherwise it's going to die. But the body can't decipher between good and bad bacteria, of course. So it just listens and makes you crave something sweet. Or many people know that a lot of the time why we crave sugar is actually because of what's going on in our intestines, literally. So if you guys want to learn more about this and learn how to reduce sugar, because don't forget, I always teach health from the place that it is not supposed to be perfect. It is supposed to be a long-term play where you're trying to get to a certain goal. So sometimes you do want to cut sugar in the short term, but most of us are never going to go and be realistic about not ever having a piece of chocolate cake again, or never having wine, or never having whatever. The point is we need to get it under control and change our relationship with it. And we do that by reducing it in a lot of places where it doesn't even need to be. So if you want to learn more about all that stuff, then I already dropped the link in the description of this video. Join my free 7-day sugar detox. It starts next Monday, and I'm going to teach you guys all kinds of things about sugar that you probably didn't know. And it's going to really help you get a fresh start and a fresh take on what you can do to improve your health in this way. So hopefully we'll see you guys we start Monday. So sign up with that link and we will see you in the group. Cheers.